In the fifth episode, I would like to talk about the use of natural light on the water in combination of white balancing. I will talk about the zoom and the built-in flash too. When you're on the water and you're taking photos using natural light, the best way to do it is to always make sure that the sun is right behind you, so everything in front of you is forlit. That's when you get the best colors and the best contrast. Why do we have to white balance? Probably you also saw it with your own eyes that when you're diving, as the deeper you go, the less and less color you see. That's actually because of the lack of light. Reds, oranges and yellows disappear in the first 33 feet or 10 meters, and we need to replace them. To be able to replace them, we need to actually tell the camera what is white. All the colors, the way you know them, are based on white. That's the base color. If you think about it, that's also the color of the sun. So what we need to do is to balance the colors on the water or something white. Let's see, what would be white on the water? The closest you can get is sand. It's kind of an off-white, whitish color to a certain depth. Let's do the white balance in our camera. What we need to do first, we need to go into our menu, and there is a white balance setting. In each camera, it's going to be somehow different. But if you go into menu, you will definitely find a white balance, and as a preset, it's going to be on auto white balance. By me saying auto white balance, you already probably suspect that there are going to be more preset white balance settings. So that would be auto white balance, the sunny, cloudy. So for example, when you have a cloudy setting, it assumes that you don't have so vivid colors, there is not much warmth, so it's going to add some warmer temperature into it. And when you go through it, you will find a few more, and depending on your camera, it can be up to even 15 different settings. But what we are looking for is the preset white balance or preset manual white balance. When you are in preset manual, then you need to hold the camera and make sure that the lens is pointing at a sandy area, not a coral which is a different color. We are choosing either the sand as white or your slate, so you just cover the lens with white. Then each camera is going to ask you something different, like it's either gonna say measure or press this button to do the custom white balance. So when you do that, then on the certain depth, the colors are going to be corrected. Every single time you change your depth with about a few feet or a few meters, you need to reset your manual white balance, because the deeper you go and then after that the shallower you go again, the temperature is constantly changing. Let's talk about zoom a little bit. Have you ever had that you went on a dive and then you zoomed in and you came out of the water, you looked at your images and you noticed that they are not so nice, they're not so crisp, they're not so sharp looking, at least definitely not the way they're supposed to be given the quality of the camera. So that brings us to one of the most common mistakes, is by being really far from a subject and zooming in. So think about this. That little camera needs to zoom through all that 800 times thicker, denser water to be able to capture that image. It's not so easy to have a sharp photograph when there's all those particles in between. So what I suggest you to do is to try to be the zoom yourself. Try to get as close as possible to your subject to have nice clarity and eliminate all that water between your camera and your subject. We do have a zoom on the camera, so if you really want to use it, I think the best way to do that is try to go real close to your subject and only zoom in when you're about to do macro photo. And then you zoom in a little bit, but you already eliminated enough distance, so you're not going to have a lot of water between your camera and your subject. The preset white balance settings only work with natural light. So if you're using the natural light and you would like to have colors, then you need to use a manual white balance. If you would like to do more close-up photography, also when subject is underneath something or it's a little bit inside where the natural light cannot reach too well, then we can have a use of our built-in flash. The built-in flash is the best to use for really short distances. As you could see it, the flash itself is small and not so powerful. If you use the built-in flash for something else than close-ups, like you would like to shoot something into the blue, be aware of the fact that the light is actually lighting up everything directly in front of you because it's right next to or right above the lens. So when that happens, then in 180 degrees from the particles, everything reflects back into the lens, and then you're going to have some backscatter. Thank you all for following me on these 5 episodes. I hope you had fun, and I also hope you learned a lot or you got the information you needed for your own camera. Please keep tuned because, you know, we can learn a lot more together. Thank you.